Oh, let's watch some videos. Oh, oh. That's funny. That's funny. Oh no, how's he getting out of this one? Oh, that's not a good place to be at all. Oh no, he's trying to get his box. Oh, Vikings can't swim, you donut. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell is that? Okay, alright, enough of the charade. You know why you're here. You want to watch me suffer and play awful video games that really should not have been made. A new part of my channel I'm calling Video Games That Really Should Not Have Been Made. Or if you're unfortunate to know what this front cover looks like, God help you, first of all, that's one thing I want to get off my chest. But you know what I'm getting myself into. You see, these games aren't massively expensive, they're not here to take your money. They're here to provide you a cheap game. And I hate to say it, as much as I'm about to ridicule them, paying 20p, 50p for a game is not a lot, and you are getting what you're paying for. It's hard to really nitpick that aspect of it. But, well, talking about it's one thing, showing you is another. Let's start our journey where I started it. A game called Lizard Lady vs. the Cats. First of all, what a plot to the game. Second, I don't get how this makes Lizard Lady so annoyed that she has to now go and kill every single cat she sees. But now, we get the gameplay. And I hope you're ready for the gameplay. Six minutes. 6 minutes this game took me to finish. Or if we're being precise, 6.5. And I got eerily good at the game. And for something that was 49 pence, I can't really argue it. Other than it's a very weird game, and I have a theme for this game now. It's just a bizarre experience, and if you haven't played it, then to say you're missing out, it's a kind of a weird thing to say at this point, I must admit. But let me just tell you something, and it's the ending of the game. Actually, let me show you the end of the game. After killing the last cat, you progress through the last door, and Lizard Lady appears to have a mental breakdown, saying, "What have I done?" And that the game will be continued in Lizard Lady versus herself. It turns out that Lizard Lady vs. herself is a bonus mode you unlock after the game, where you shoot yourself over and over again. It's very weird, and to be fair, something in 49p, I'm kind of done with this at this point. I'm just confused. So let's move on to the next game, shall we? The next game on our list is a little on-rails shooter called Gun Ducky Industries. And what's the plot of this game? Well, I'll let the narrator tell you.
Contact with our forces has been lost. I presume they have all been destroyed by the robot uprising. Keeping low in valleys and amongst buildings to stay out of range of their anti-aircraft weapons, I have no choice but to fly my plane to the robot factory in an effort to destroy their manufacturing facilities once and for all.
Yeah, that pretty much covers it, actually. Now, I'm not going to hate this game too much either, but the worst thing about this game was the controls. Other than that, it was completely fine. Just, it was the controls, 'cause they're awful. I had my own brother play this, and he just sat there going, Whoa! Whoa! Oh, I've crashed. And the thing with this game, I got it as a bundle. With Gun Ducky Industries Plus Plus. And what's the plot of this game? Well, I'll let the narrator tell you.
Contact with our forces has been lost. I presume they have all been destroyed by the robot uprising.
Sounds familiar, right? That's because Gun Ducky Industries Plus Plus is purely just a graphical overhaul of the original, which is why it was sold as a bundle. Now, I was going to do this whole comparison thing between the two intros, or between the two games. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Contact with our forces has been lost. I presume they have all been destroyed by the robot uprising. Keeping low in valleys and amongst buildings to stay out of range of their anti-aircraft weapons, I have no choice but to fly my plane to the robot factory in an effort to destroy their manufacturing facilities once and for all.
Needless to say, it doesn't matter which one you play. They both pretty much look alike, apart from Plus Plus having a few different shading, texture sort of things added. Other than that, I don't hate it. Just the controls are terrible. This one's going to be quite quick. You see, this is another one of those it comes as a bundle thing, but it's probably the best one. I'm talking, of course, of Ascent Shaft and Descent Shaft. Do I really have to explain what the difference is of these two games? Oh, I do. Well, Descent Shaft, you go downwards. Ascent Shaft, you go up. Oh, and it's a shoot 'em up. Now, I claimed these were the best games. Do you know why? Because they work. Descent Shaft is so responsive, I question why every other game hasn't been. Ascent Shaft, I don't really play it, I don't really think it was that good, but I'm just saying, these are the better games. So, Neptunian inversion. Yes, this is how the game starts. Okay, let's just speed this up. Okay, the way this game basically works is it uses gravity, and that's kinda it. It's a general sort of puzzle game, platformer with gravity. There's not much to say other than Portal, but not. But it's not a terrible game. There seems to be a running thing with these games where I say that they're terrible and then say they're not. It's because we haven't gotten to the worst of the worst. And the worst isn't made by this company. You see, we have one more game to play. Violetti Guitti. I don't know how to pronounce it, so you have a go. Right? You have no idea either. So, was this game any good, or was it terrible? Well, I don't really know. So I'm going to play some footage, and I want you to tell me, Do you think this game is awful? Or do you think it's one of the most innovative that this creator has made? Personally, I think this game has potential, but there's so many little things that go wrong. With a little care, it could be really good. But I think that's enough of the Voices games. We might come back, but for now, we've got bigger fish to fry. This is a fighting game called Fight. Now, there's no massive intro, there's no nothing. And one of the most iconic thing about fighting games are the characters. But I've changed their names. So, we have... And what's your name exactly? Oh, well, we can't call you that, so it's just gonna be Yogi. Oh, for Christ's sake, what have they called you? Oh, well, you can just be called Rhino and we'll move on. And who did I play as? Well, it was kind of obvious, wasn't it? Let's be honest. There's not really many levels in this game, and the difficulties range from the general ones you'd expect. This game, for what it was, took way too long to load, as you'll see, and be very confused.
Fight.
I was not prepared for how bad this combat was actually going to be. Do you remember in like Mortal Kombat 2 where you didn't know what to do, so you just jabbed buttons and you punched occasionally? Imagine you took that, took any special moves out of the game and said, here you go. That's what this is. It is basic combat of Mortal Kombat, but as a full game. I had to cheat my way to victory. Oh God, get it off the screen. Please. So, that's it. That's this whole game. It is just that. What's the description of this?
Are you ready to fight? Many fighters receive an anonymous fight message about the exact location of hidden treasure in the ancient ruins of Saga. As the fighters descend into the ancient ruins, driven by greed, little did they know that the evil deception already ran from Saga and the creator deception was murdered as a life force of the fighters by using mysterious illusions from other worlds to make them fight one another. Fight is a fun, easy to play one-on-one fighting game with many different fighters and scenes to choose from.
No fight will be the same. I beg to bloody differ. However, this is not the worst fighting game I've played. Yes, it is cheaply made and it cost me $7.99. But what if we doubled the price? What if we made it that there were no characters to start with? What if it was the worst fighting game I've ever played? I'll see you in part 2, where we'll be talking about Super Hero X.
Dream.